If you are looking to buy a new graphics card and you want to play at 4K resolution with no FPS drops, this video is going to be for you. I will show you the best graphics cards for different budgets for 4K resolution, and I will also tell you the level of performance that you will get that way. If you are looking for a new graphics card and you know nothing about computers, you are able to understand the level of performance that you are getting. The links to all of these graphics cards will be down below in the video description. With that being said, let's start. With the first GPU, we have the RX 7900 XT or RTX 4070 Ti Super. The RX 7900 XT is going for $725, while the RTX 4070 Ti Super is going for $800. On the latest test from TechSpot, on a 12 frame average, and I'm talking about high demanding games, the RTX 4070 Ti Super was able to average 70 FPS and the RX 7900 XT 75 FPS. So in terms of rasterized performance, they are both very similar. Why would you buy the RTX 4070 Ti Super if the 7900 XT is faster and cheaper? Well, in my opinion, the RTX 4070 Ti Super is appealing to me because of the fact that you get DLSS, which is the NVIDIA upscaler technology, and it works better than FSR, which is the upscaler from AMD. It has a better image quality, and at 4K resolution, DLSS becomes a stronger point, especially if you want to play these high demanding titles. On top of that, the NVIDIA GPU is much better at ray tracing performance. On a 10 game average at 1440p with ray tracing on, the RTX 4070 Ti Super was able to average 86 FPS, while the 7900 XT 66, so a 20 FPS on average difference. If you care about ray tracing and you want to turn it on, the 4070 Ti Super is a much better option. A very strong selling point for the NVIDIA GPU. In terms of VRAM, the 4070 Ti Super has 16 gigs of VRAM, while the 7900 XT has 20 gigs of VRAM, but anyway, both have enough VRAM for 4K resolution, so there's nothing to worry about. So when should you choose the RX 7900 XT? Well, if you really don't want to spend over $725, or if you don't care about ray tracing or DLSS, then the 7900 XT in terms of rasterized performance is slightly faster and cheaper. So in that case, the AMD GPU is going to be ideal for you. Moving up a tier, we have the RX 7900 XTX or RTX 4080 Super, and the same thing happens here. On that same 12 frame average at 4K, the 4080 Super was able to average 85 FPS, while the 7900 XTX 93 FPS. So once again, the 7900 XTX, which is the AMD GPU, is slightly faster in terms of rasterized performance and cheaper. But the thing is, the price difference is not big, especially when you are already spending around $1,000 on a GPU, and the 4080 Super offers all of the NVIDIA technologies I've mentioned before: DLSS, better level of ray tracing. In fact, on that same game average at 1440p with ray tracing on, the 4080 Super was able to average 100 FPS, while the 7900 XTX 77. So the difference is huge. And then another strong point, in my opinion, for the NVIDIA GPU is that it's usually better for production, content creation, and 3D rendering apps. But before buying anything for production work, I highly recommend you checking the program that you use and watching a comparison on YouTube between the 4080 Super and the 7900 XTX to see which one is actually better for your specific case. But in terms of gaming, the 4080 Super, in my opinion, has the edge because of the technologies, and in terms of rasterized performance is very similar to the 7900 XTX, so you're not really losing that much performance. So once again, the question of when should you buy the 7900 XTX? Well, if you don't want to spend $1,000 on a GPU and you don't care about any of the NVIDIA technologies. Otherwise, I think it's worth expending the extra and going with the 4080 Super. And I'm not an NVIDIA fanboy. In fact, I actually do not like the 4080 Super release because it's just a 4080 with a cheaper price point. However, because of its price, if you're going to spend $1,000 on a GPU, in my opinion, is your best option. And then moving up a tier, if you want the best of the best, let's say you have a lot of money to spend, you just don't care about money, I recommend you getting the RTX 4090. This is the fastest GPU in the entire market, and this is not the best value GPU for 4K resolution at all. If you care about money, go with any other GPU, but if you don't care about money, then go with this one. Right now, the cheapest models are going for around $2,000, and on that 12 frame average at 4K resolution high to ultra settings, the RTX 4090 was able to average 112 FPS, being the fastest GPU in the entire market, as I said before. When you turn on ray tracing at 1440p, you can expect 115 FPS on average, once again the fastest on the market. Some people just want the best of the best, and if that's your case, this is your GPU. But just make sure that you get the fastest CPU in the market as well, because you are already spending $2,000 on a GPU, so spend the extra and get something like the Ryzen 9 7950X3D. That way you get the best pair for gaming in the entire world at the moment. As a bonus GPU, I want to recommend the RX 7800 XT that's going for $500, and after a promo code you can get it for around $490, which is an amazing price for this GPU and definitely capable of 4K resolution gaming. Now, it's not going to be the best 4K GPU out there. In fact, on that 12 frame average at 4K I've been mentioning throughout this video, the 7800 XT was able to average 57 FPS, so a bit under 60 FPS, but don't worry about it because these are very high demanding titles on ultra settings. So if you turn on FSR or you lower the graphics settings to high, you can expect 60 plus FPS on average easily, and especially if you want to play non-demanding games, the 7800 XT is going to be enough for those type of games and definitely capable of a smooth experience at this resolution. So it all comes down to the type of games that you play, but if you want to play high demanding games on ultra settings, then the GPUs I've mentioned throughout this video are going to be ideal for that scenario. And if you want to play esports titles, I would prioritize your CPU more because they are more CPU limited and you don't have to spend that much on a GPU if you're going to play those type of games only. Also, just make sure that you do not bottleneck your GPU, because if you bottleneck your GPU, then your gaming performance will suffer from stutters and you won't be able to achieve the GPU full potential. So if you want the best complete PC builds with no bottlenecks, in the top right of the screen you will have my video on the best complete PC builds for every budget and every resolution. Let me know if you have any questions in the comment section. Thank you guys for watching, thank you for the support, and I will see you on the next one.